In Brooklyn, the movie begins with Larry Daley walking to his car and seeing a boot on the tire. He immediately runs to his friend to ask about where is Nick. His friend informs him that he was taken home by his ex-wife's new partner. When Larry visits his ex-wife's home, he shares that he could be evicted soon and shift to Queens. He then drives Nick to an ice hockey game. When the game is over, they go for a walk in the park, and Nick says that he has changed his mind about playing hockey and now wants to work as a bond trader like his mother's boyfriend instead. Larry is adamant about finding a new job since he feels horrible for Nick, and Nick questions whether he is actually moving once more. Larry is seen in an employment office. He is being interviewed by a woman who might be able to provide him a job. She informs Larry that a resume like his has never been seen before. After saying thank you, he learns that she wasn't being complimented. They talk about many aspects of his background, such as his creation, the snapper, which is a variation on the clapper for lighting. He tells her how much he needs a job and stops her from dismissing him. She sighs and offers him the Museum of Natural History's address after a brief delay, stating that everyone she sent there was rejected but that he might get lucky. Larry is seen walking through the Natural History Museum. He reaches the information desk clerk to ask for Cecil. She introduces herself as Rebecca and then says that Cecil should be at his office. Soon after a little exploration of the space with Larry, Dr. McPhee interrupts and complains that kids are touching the displays. Rebecca continues working, and Larry walks to Cecil's office. Cecil replies when Larry knocks on the door of the security office and lets him in. Larry is informed that because the museum is losing money, Gus, Reginald, and he will all be let go, and a new guard will be hired to take their place. Since they are night guards and Larry dislikes the notion of spending the entire night at a museum, he is confused about whether or not to accept the position. At last, he consents, and Cecil instructs him to wait outside until he can tour him through the museum. When Larry has left, Reginald asks Cecil whether or not he believes he is the one. Cecil answers, "Oh yeah, he's the one," as his response. He starts by taking Larry into the room with the dioramas depicting Mayan, Roman, and Western cultures. Pursuing Larry's exit from the room, Cecil is nowhere to be found. He calls out Cecil's name again, and we then see a figure pursuing him. When Larry's shoulder is touched, he screams. After removing his mask, the figure reveals Cecil, who is clothed in Native American clothing. Larry chuckles because Cecil terrified him, but he is admonished not to play around. Cecil then takes him to the Hall of African Mammals, the Easter Island Head, and Attila the Hun. When Larry observes the monkey, Cecil explains they have named him Dexter. Cecil shows Larry the pharaoh's tomb and the pharaoh's chamber when they exit that room and enter the pharaoh's chamber. He reveals that the tablet of Akhmenre is made of 24-karat gold. The three guards are there to provide Larry with what he needs as he gets ready for his first day of work. Cecil hands him his torch and keys to lock the gates. Additionally, he gives a user guide to Larry. Cecil instructs him to switch on a few lights because it can feel a little spooky in there. In a very serious tone, he also warns him not to allow anything in or out. Even being confused by this, Larry continues to work. He turns on the lights and takes a seat at the information desk while speaking on the phone, which echoes throughout the whole museum. He at some point sleeps off, but as he wakes he falls out of his chair. The Tyrannosaurus